Welcome, wrestling friends, to a special edition of Smarknado. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the tag team partner, the homie, Dan Cesnit. Dan, what's going on?
Living the life, man.
Hell yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
Couldn't be happier, too, because on our podcast today, we have someone that is a fan of that both me and Dan are a fan of.
Big fan.
For my money, I think he's one of the most entertaining, talented guys on the Northeast independent scene today. And honestly, perhaps the most popular wrestler in pro wrestling grind. It is our pleasure to welcome Smarknado, the Thick Daddy Andy Brown. Thick Daddy, how you doing today?
What's up, man? Thank you for the intro. That was cool, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I feel like you've earned it. You know, this has been a long time coming. You know, we've already sponsored a bunch of matches for Pro Wrestling Grind. It was only a matter of time before we get to you. Truly one of our favorites. Shout out to Drew, friend of the podcast, huge fan of yours, probably the biggest Thick Daddy fan I know.
I said this a while back, even like when we had been sponsoring other matches and we had spoken with the likes of Delmy and Rip and all that. And I said, man, I would really like to get, Andy on the podcast because he just seems like kind of like a chill guy, man, like and his character is just wow. So like I hope at some point we can sponsor one of his matches, and we've had a pretty good relationship with Grind so far, so we're pretty psyched to finally have you on the show.
Yeah, I was feeling a little left out. I saw everything. I was like, damn, they don't like me.
Nah, man, you were high on my list. It was just a matter of time. Don't you worry.
Nah, bro, we got you for sure. All right, so let's just get right into this. So, Andy, what are your earliest memories of pro wrestling, and who did you enjoy watching when you were a kid?
You know what sucks, man, is I get this question a lot, and I don't remember. Like, I don't remember it like because I remember like Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, obviously, but I don't remember like watching them. The first time I remember like everything clicking and me actually enjoying wrestling and watching it was when I saw The Rock. But when he was in the Nation, that Rock, that's when I was just like, oh, this is cool, man. Like hell yeah, this dude's dope. Whatever, blah blah blah. And I didn't like Austin because he would always beat The Rock, and I was like, dude, fuck Austin. Da, da, da. Then I got older and understood and stuff like that, but. Because I know all those old guys, or not the old guys, I'm sorry, the old timers and like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, shit like that. But it was when I saw The Rock in the Nation of Domination.
I was a Rock guy too.
Yeah.
When it was 17 and 18 and that whole Attitude Era, I was definitely a Rock guy over Stone Cold. I will definitely admit that for sure.
Yeah, that's
Can't relate, losers. Definitely an Austin guy here, but I hear you. You know, once Rock did get to show his personality in the Nation of Domination, it was,
all uphill from there.
Hell yeah. So like, what was that watershed moment, presumably during your viewing, where you were like, okay, I think I really want to do this?
It was when I saw guys like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, like kind of smaller statured. You know what I mean? Because I'm not tall. At the time I wasn't big either. So like seeing guys like that go at it and like kill it against each other, and then still going up against like the quote unquote giants and larger than life, and still standing out. Like that's when I was just like, damn, can I do this? Can I, like, is it possible or whatever? And obviously, I always had it in the back of my mind to wanting to try it, but I never knew that. It sounds funny. I never knew there was a school for it. I always thought you had to know someone to know somebody because you always heard it all the time in the stories of like, well, my dad was a wrestler, or my uncle was a wrestler, or my uncle's friend was a wrestler. So it's just like, I didn't know there was a school for it. And then I found out there was like a school like 45 minutes away from me. So then I was just like, yeah, man, forget all this backyard stuff because I used to backyard wrestle. So I was just like, man, fuck all this. Let me go over there and try it out. And yeah, man, it was cool. I took a bump. Took my first bump. Hated it, but
hated. Everybody hated it. That's what I'm told. I've never. I'm too scared to take one.
I heard running the ropes is worse.
See, that's what I heard too, hitting the ropes. But like, it wasn't bad for me. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't hitting them correctly, or
you were pre-calloused up.
Yeah, but that bump, bro, they don't teach you, man. I hit the back of my head. I
Uh-huh.
get up, I'm all woozy. I'm just like, oh shit, is this how it's always gonna be? But
Yeah. Yeah, so like what was that school and like who trained you to become a professional wrestler?
so that school is called Jesse Hernandez School of Hard Knocks. It's out in California in San
Mhm.
Bernardino. A lot of good people, I think. Some of the greatest wrestlers came out of there. Yeah, Russ Taylor, TJ Perkins,
Mhm.
Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, and Melina came out of there. I'm sure I'm missing a
Wow.
few, so I apologize. But
Wow.
yeah, man, it started in a little hole in the wall spot. Like you couldn't hit the rope without hitting the wall. Like that's how tight it was. If you did a leapfrog, you hit the fucking the roof and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I went there and got stretched, got beat up, and learned everything there is to it. My, how do you say this? I was taught American lucha style
Mhm.
for like basing and rolling and doing all that crazy shit. So like, that was my first training and understanding of psychology of wrestling was lucha.
And that's very typical on the West Coast, right? For a lot of
Yeah,
guys that are breaking in, they learn that style, right?
yeah.
Because it's they have so many luchadors that are coming into the territories.
I would say particularly in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I think because we're so close to like TJ and San Diego and stuff like that, like Mexico and shit like that, like we're so close to it that a lot of these people do come through and luchadors and teach us all this stuff, and
Mhm.
that's where we kind of like learn and what how would you say it? Master our craft with it. Like
or-
Yeah. Now Jesse Hernandez was a referee, right? Wasn't he?
yeah, so he was a wrestler and referee. I hate to say it like that. He was a wrestler, like jobber, but he
Mhm.
was a referee big time in WWF and stuff like that. Like I think a lot of his canvases and rings were used by WWF at the time, and
Mhm.
yeah, so it was cool. Like you hear all these stories about him and stuff like that, and obviously, when your dad says something and you're just like, nah, man, that's too cool for you. You ain't cool like that. But that was Jesse. He would always tell me stories about people, and I'm like, man, you don't know that. You don't know that. This one time, it was the funniest thing. He goes, "Yeah, I have Hulk Hogan's number." I was like, "No, you don't." Just kept messing with him, right? Just kept talking shit. He goes, "Brother, you know what?" He always does that, brother, you know what? And he calls, and I was like, "Man, this fool ain't gonna answer." Didn't answer, and then next week he calls and he goes, and yeah, I was talking to Hulk Hogan for like 2 seconds. I was like,
ugh,
"What
Oh
the
my
fuck?
God.
You know him? That's crazy." You know what I mean?
That's a
it-
flex.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
it was
that
a
is a
big one.
flex. That is a flex.
Yeah.
How long did your schooling take? Was that everybody seems to have a different answer. Some people go for a lot longer than others. How long was it before you had your first official match?
I want to say it was a year and like 3 to 5 months. It would have been sooner, but I didn't have gear at the time because I never thought I was going to be able to do it. I know it sounds silly. Like I trained and trained and trained and just was it to me it felt like it never clicked, if
Okay.
that makes any sense. But that
Yeah.
that was just because of like older like bullying and politics in wrestling. It was kind of weird.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I never thought that I was gonna quote unquote make it or actually do it. So I never got into gear. I never invested in it. And one day Jesse Hernandez was like, brother, get something, get anything. Doesn't matter, just get something. But don't look like a yarder. Don't look like I'm like, damn, all right. And then
Called you out.
yeah, he
Yeah,
had to,
yeah,
man. He had to. And yeah, I ended up getting some tights and some kickbacks from the spot called E Lucha that everybody goes to. And I got the
yeah.
same gear that everyone had. And yeah, I just don't remember the date, which sucks. I'm
Uh,
terrible at dates.
who was the match?
This guy named Jacob Terrasso, he still wrestles. He was out here in New Jersey, Philly area.
Okay.
But so he was in San Bernardino, then moved over here, then moved back. So he's back home now.
Word.
Right
Cool.
on. So early in your career, you're just breaking in and everything. Like, who are some of the mentors that you went to for advice at that time?
So at the time, it was Ryan Taylor or Russ Taylor, whatever he goes by.
Great technical
Um,
wrestler.
He's fantastic, man. I always try to keep
Yeah.
up with him, but I just couldn't. Like
Hmm.
it was hard. But I would always talk to him about like anything and whatever I needed to get like ideas or whatever, and he would let me ride with him everywhere because at the time he was fucking getting booked everywhere, so I would just
Sure.
be in the back seat with them. You know what I mean? Peter Avalon, he taught me him and Ray Rosas,
Mhm.
fucking great SoCal wrestlers. Actually,
PP Ray.
wrestlers in general.
PP
Yeah, PP
Ray.
Ray. Yeah.
Yeah.
They taught me TV style, you know what I mean? Like where's a hard cam, how to do this, and timing of wrestling and stuff like that. So, people like that. My best friend in the world, my tag team partner. I wish we could do stuff out here. Tyler Bateman. I
Oh,
still talk to him to
Oh,
this
I
day.
I wasn't aware that you guys were tag team.
Yeah, 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 man.
Shit, I didn't do my research like that.
Yeah, no, you good, bro. We were the
Yeah.
sexy time murderers, and I don't know if I can say that here, but yeah,
you could
we
say
used
whatever. That's dope,
Oh,
man. No, I wasn't aware of that either. I mean, I'll confess, but you
it's
know,
all good. Yeah,
that's
we
that's
the
dope.
setup for it was great. It wasn't great. It
mhm,
was just kind of like we used to feud with each other every fucking where we went. Anywhere, it was always us two, and he would always just beat the shit out of me. But it was what it was. And then he was teaming with Brody King, and
right.
Brody got signed. And then I wasn't teaming with anyone. And then we're just like, oh, like you want to try this? You want to try to do it? We did it one time, and it got over really well. People weren't expecting it, but people loved it, and we just kind of kept doing it and doing it, and then it was going. We were about to go places, but then he got signed, which is great. I love that. And so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
awesome. I know right before the show we were just talking about the We Watch Wrestling podcast. They're tight with Tyler Bateman, by the way.
yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
they do like a lot. They've done multiple interviews with him, so I've heard a lot from Bateman before. He seems like one of the coolest guys around.
he's fantastic, man. I miss him so much. Like I don't get to see him obviously, but I talk to him every day. He actually just messaged me right now. I don't know if you heard. He just messaged me. So like the idea like that we were trying to get this to, but like the flights from LA to come out here to Philly is insane, but we want to
Mhm.
make it happen someday soon.
Oh, that's where you're based in Philly.
Yeah, I am. Yes,
Nice.
Oh, right on. Yeah, trust the process. I'm a sad Sixers fan here.
yeah. I didn't I'm not too it sucks, man. I'm not too big into sports for whatever reason. Like I watch the big stuff like playoffs and the
Mhm.
championships and stuff like that. But I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Even when I was back at home,
Yeah, you're
it's funny because I tell this story. I have no idea what year it was. I just remember going, I want to watch football. Like I need to watch something that isn't just fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't remember if it was a playoff or if it was just a game, but it was the Falcons versus the Eagles, Michael Vick versus Donovan McNabb. And I was like, whoever wins this, fuck it, I'll be with them. And the Eagles won, so I was just like, all right, I'm riding with them.
I've been an Eagles fan since '91.
Dang, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm old school. I grew up with Randall Cunningham and Jerome Brown and fucking
See, I don't know those names, but my
yeah.
father-in-law be talking to me about it. I'm like, yeah, dog, hell yeah, hell yeah. I got no clue.
That's yeah, it's all right. I'll keep talking. I'll take smiles and nods, bro.
Yeah,
That's all
fuck
that
it.
matters. Like
Yeah, if you
whatever.
enjoy it, yeah, if you
You
enjoy
could
it,
be
fuck it.
scrolling on your phone. Yeah,
You're
cool.
still
All
going
right.
at it.
I'm good. Like
Yeah, man. Whatever, guys. I'm a New York Giants fan. But
Oh.
so so who are some of your favorite opponents that you had on the SoCal scene when you were out there? What were some of your favorite memories working over there?
The same people I said, Ray
Bateman.
Rosas, Peter Bateman, Adrian Quest. This is his hat right here, the Bermuda.
that's cool.
Um,
He's
he's
making a name for himself now. West Coast Pro, I've seen him in.
yeah, man, he's fantastic, man. That motherfucker is like his brain and creativity is everywhere. Like it's hard to talk to him sometimes because he'd be like, "Oh, what do you think about this shoe design? What do you think about this shirt and hat and da 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 move and spot?" And I'm just like, "Damn, bro, like I just
Slow
asked how
down.
you was doing."
You're like, here you go.
Yeah,
Relax.
yeah. Low key, yeah. That's what gets him up actually when he starts
Yeah.
talking like that.
Whew.
I don't know if you heard this team, Rockness Monster, who
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
beat
yeah, yeah.
those guys, even Yuma too. He was one of the guys that I talked to this day and asked advice and how do I do this and that. I wrestled them twice in a tag team, and both times it was just fantastic. It was just a lot of like, okay, this, that, and we'll just go outside and do anything we want safely. Everyone's laughing, and then we come back, and it's just like, dog. we gotta, like, let's go to the next thing or whatever the case is. Um, Fidel Bravo. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Never
He's
heard of him. No.
Can't say I
he's
have.
he's good. He's just low key about a lot of things, but he's another one. He actually taught me a lot of lucha stuff. So
Okay.
Right on.
a lot of them, man. There's cool stuff out there. All the Santino's camp, Slice Boogie, Dom, Lucas.
Limelight.
Nah, the Limelight's cool, bro.
Yeah.
I interact with him a little bit during my time in Hollywood. He's a good dude. He's very crazy athletic, which is cool. I wish
Yeah,
I
championship wrestling from Hollywood. That's just kind of something that I always knew about, but I never like got around to watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
It's
So
cool. They have some sleepers over there, man. They have some people that are like now doing big shit, like a bad dude Tito. I don't know if you ever heard of
Yep.
him.
hell yeah,
Man,
TMDK.
yeah, man, he came out of not he didn't come out of there, but like you know what I mean. Like he went through there and he was a big name there and shit like that. And now people are starting to see him. But it's just
Mhm.
like we all saw that, we all noticed it during the Hollywood days, and it goes for a lot of people like Limelight and Adrian and Rockness and Bateman and them. Like it's a place even to this day. It still runs. It's still going hot. I still watch it every now and then, and they have a lot of great talent still, like now. So
Do you miss being out there?
yeah, sometimes I do. Just seeing my friends doing stuff, and I'm like, damn, man, I want to go back. I want to do this stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm meeting new friends here and doing not cooler, but doing cool stuff here. I'm enjoying it, man. Like it's like, yeah, I miss it, but it's not like I'm not doing anything. If that makes sense.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, Philly's a great area too, man. Like, cause it's kind of like a hub. You're close to sort of everything there.
Yeah, I was
Um,
noticing that when we got down here, like grinding them is so far away, but like it's so cool because everyone the Rip and Delmy are the connection. Not, I don't want to say connection, but they're the friends that we made out there. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It started off as just like trying to get booked for grind, and then it happened, and then it formed into a friendship. So now when we go out there, we have a place to stay, so we don't have to like drive 4 hours over there and then
yeah.
4 hours back, and then
Both of
the
them
next
such
day.
good people.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, they're fantastic, man. I love
Yeah,
them for real.
yeah,
It's very
for
hard to
sure,
find friends in wrestling, but it's very hard to find like real friends in
for
wrestling.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
Genuine people in life are hard to come by, and both of them were so gracious and awesome and have been to this day. With this podcast, we've sort of tried to get in on the ground floor and be part of grind, having all you guys on, and it's just been just a wonderful experience. So I can tell that when you say that that's a good group of friends to have, is like, yeah, he means that shit. Like,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
for real, man.
And I
That
see it
whole
firsthand.
grind locker room is like that, man. It's
Mhm.
all good people. Like, I think that's hard to find nowadays in locker rooms, just having good individuals. Like, it's so hard, whether it be from the promoters, the bookers down, it's just, but
Yeah.
grind is a special place, I think. It's gonna be funny when Rip and Delmy hear this. They're gonna be like, oh, you're kissing ass, da, da, da. But like, I mean it, you know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
of these places out here really like brought me in with open arms, like Blitzkrieg Pro,
Mhm.
Limitless, like them, Wrestling Open.
Mhm.
Like they all like really just brought me and my lady in without like having to prove ourselves, if that makes any sense. They're
Yeah,
like,
no
oh, you guys are good
politic free.
people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
Politic
like,
free
you're good.
shit. Like,
Yeah, you're good people. Like, come on in. And then like, obviously, like you let anyone in your house, you're gonna look at them sideways for a little bit, but then after a while, you're like, yeah, dude, like go in the fridge
yeah.
and get whatever you want. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And you
I
guys are just such an amazing package of what you both bring to the table. So like,
that's just
why
fun. I
wouldn't why
know.
wouldn't you fit
It's like funny
you
because I
guys?
don't think that's like I think there's only one other couple that does that I know of. You know what I mean?
Veda and Mike Bailey, right?
Yep,
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that like shit like that is cool, but like obviously that's a different fucking animal. That motherfucker good, man. Both
Oh
of
my
them
gosh.
fucking
Yeah,
good.
But
yeah. I
both
think
of you
because
motherfuckers are
I
good. Don't
actually
worry.
think
Oh,
Don't
thank
you
you.
worry.
not
Don't
that
you
I
worry.
know anything, but I think that Mike Bailey is probably a pretty safe worker, unlike what some of the assholes on Twitter have been saying this week.
I know they've all been talking shit. That's weird, man. But
Yeah,
That's
that's
Twitter,
just
man.
yeah,
I
that's how
know.
it's
That's
gonna be.
What are you
that's
gonna do?
Twitter.
So
But
like
man,
what have been some of the key differences between the Northeast scene and the SoCal scene? Is there like stylistic differences or anything that you've like noticed?
Yeah, the fans here are very, what's the word? Um, chanty.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
like they like to chant a lot. They like to, but they're invested in it, which is great. Because sometimes in LA, I feel like I feel like it could just be LA because everyone's just super like
Yeah.
hoity-toity, and yeah, I don't know how to explain it. So they're watching, they give a fuck, but like sometimes they act like they don't. Like, I'm too cool
Yeah,
for this.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
But over here in the Northeast, everyone's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, like thick, thick. Like they're into oh, they're into all that shit. So it's like, so it's that. The style here is a little faster that I'm used to.
Mhm.
It's just very like bang, 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 chill, bang, 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 chill, ba, 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 ba. It's just, so there's no time to like really digest what the fuck is going on, but then when you get my old slow ass out there, it's like, nah, we chilling. Like,
Come on, man. The finish him, you're not a
finish him
slow
great.
man at all.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess I do notice that, especially being at grind, there are definitely people that routinely will start chants and
Yeah.
get into it. And I almost think that like that whole sitting on your hands thing in the SoCal scene, it's almost like they've been desensitized to a lot of stuff because they've seen fucking everything with PW. Like PWG is just they throw everything against the wall, right? You think there's anything to that mentality like out there?
Um, Sometimes, or kind of like, honestly, yeah, maybe actually. I never really thought of it like that because there are some, you know what it is sometimes is I think like some of these fans see us coming up,
Hmm.
right? So instead of being invested in us, they're just kind of like, they're still that young punk kid.
Yeah.
Even though we're trying to like, no, we're not. We're like, we're this, like, sure, we're not whatever a PWG brings in, but like we're trying to get to that. And we'll get like that with your help. But right now you're not helping. You're still seeing me as a young punk when it's like I'm not that anymore. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
it sort of reminds me in a lot of ways, like I came up in the hardcore scene, right?
Mm,
Like, so that's sort of what that reminds me of is like it was really hard as a younger band to try to get booked on big shows. It's like you don't get exposure without getting booked on these shows. And it's
yeah.
like kind of the same as like these jobs that like want you to get experience, but like
Yeah.
you can't without getting hired, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
no, I feel you on that. And and
so
and by no means am I shitting on the Cali scene. Like,
yeah.
I think they're great. Obviously I still see what they not the scene itself, but the fans themselves. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Hmm.
So like I'm not shitting on them by any means. It's just like, come on, bro, like cheer a little bit. Be happy to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that totally. So you are the thick daddy. You're currently the thick daddy. I don't know if you've always been the thick daddy. So like what was the evolution for you to get to this point? Like what was your character like at the beginning of your career to where you are today?
Well, yeah, I wasn't the thick daddy all the time. Believe it or not, I was thinner when I was when I just started. Shit, I don't even
I
have
was
it. I didn't, huh?
I mean I was thinner too.
We all were.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it don't get better.
I
It
hate I
don't.
hate I hate blaming it on COVID, but that's what happened. It like I was getting chubby. I'm not gonna lie, but once when COVID hit, I was like,
Mm.
oh, I'm done. Like, for whatever reason, my body was just like, no, we're keeping all these burgers and burritos that you're eating. We're gonna keep it.
I had a
Uh,
kid, man. I just had that. I got
Yeah.
dad bod immediately.
oh,
It forms immediately, bro.
dog, I fucking feel you. As soon as my kid was born, I did the same thing. I was just like, sure, I'll eat the rest of that. Sure, I'll eat the rest of that.
I'm like, ooh, extra chicken nugget.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah,
That's mine.
yeah. But nah, I didn't. I don't even think I had a character when I started. I was just kind of like, wrestler number 8 there, and
Mhm.
I just did my thing. To be honest, oh, excuse me. To be honest with you, fuck, man, even Thick Daddy ain't even like a. I guess it is a character. I came up with it when I was drunk. Like, we were,
Yo.
yeah, man, we were chilling and stuff like that, and like I'm so insecure and like doubt myself and all this stuff. But when I get buzzy buzz and get drunk and shit, I'm very confident and like fuck that, all this stupid shit. And my lady told me something. She said something to me, and I was like, "What?" And like I genuinely couldn't hear her. And she said it again. I was like, "What?" She said something else one more time. I was like, what? You don't talk to the thick daddy like that. You want me to do the dishes? Didn't even know if that's what it was. I was like, the thick daddy don't play. Da, 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 da. She goes, okay, thick daddy. I was like, yeah, with 3 C's because I'm big and shit, whatever. And that's
Yeah.
how it came about. We were joking about it. I remember hearing it. I think I'd had a show and I said it out loud. And then one day I was promoted to Russell Effie at an Atlanta taping,
Oh.
and it
Alright.
was obviously he's daddy. And I was just like, let me just
Ooh.
try this shit out. I'm like, oh, fucking daddy versus thick daddy. And then I guess
Yes.
it like kept. Then I asked the homie to make me a shirt, just as I wish I had it. I don't know where it's at, but it's just thick daddy, like it's just plain like that, like the Austin
Mhm.
316, just plain. And everyone's like, oh, let me get that. Where do you have merch for that? I was like, nah, man, there's one. Well, get some. Like, nah, ain't nobody want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just kind of took off, and then it just became that, and I would just like I say daddy in my everyday, like how people say dude or homie. Like I call people daddy, I call women female daddies. Like
Yeah.
it
It's
don't matter.
wrestling lingo.
Yeah, it's like it's to me it's like brother brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Bill Alfonso calls everyone daddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
It's funny when I met him, we were doing that shit. We were going back and forth with dad. It was just kind of weird, and everyone was looking at us like, y'all just calling each other daddies? It was like, whatever, dog. Like, let it be.
It ain't weird.
I
Yeah,
love
but I
it.
came up with that shit when I was in Florida, and yeah, I didn't think it was gonna stick, and it just kind of stuck around. People like it; they think it's funny, so I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm the thick daddy. There ain't nothing to it. What
Dude,
is
it
it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
definitely has taken off. I feel like everyone loves it. It's just a testament to how some of the best things in wrestling just kind of happen organically, you know.
Yeah.
Even with your character. But I even knew when you debuted in Grind, I think that you were kind of pulling a more like heel persona.
I was fucking trying to, man.
Yeah, you were, but like you came out with thick to and I just knew. I was like, this guy's not going to be a heel here.
I
People love
tried
him.
it. I tried it when I was I wrestled Perry Von Vicious,
Yeah.
and I remember having him in a front face lock, and some old lady was looking at me, and I dropped them, and I was just like, "You old bitch, da 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 da, the thick daddy," and she flips me off. She goes, "Fa da da da, whatever." Did something, and she goes, "Okay, daddy," and then everyone's like, I was like, "Fuck!" I don't,
There it
damn
goes.
it.
Backfired.
Yeah, that was it. And then I think the next grind, I come out and you're like, yeah, I was like, fuck, all right, here we are. Fuck it.
Might as well
Hey
take it,
man, it
man.
is
Yeah.
what it is. There's a reason why you're the Blitzkrieg Pro Champ too. Like
Oh
people
yeah,
love
thank
you
you.
over there, man. Um, so like what guys on the indie scene have you like shared locker rooms with who has been impressing you that you would like to step in the ring with that you have not yet?
Oh, that's a good one. TJ Crawford is one
Mm,
that I want a singles with.
yes.
I just had a 3-way, but I want a singles with him, which I feel like that might happen soon. CPA is another one. Yeah, I love him.
He can I just say that he instead of giving me a signature, he wrote down the lyrics to My Sacrifice. I saw the
That motherfucker funny, man. He's
crowd.
just random shit. I love it. Who
He's
else?
so great.
Rep Bison, obviously. I had a
Yeah,
match with them in open, but it was just kind of like, a little match. But
I
I
think
wanted
I
to.
remember that. Yeah, it wasn't they gave you maybe like 7 minutes or something like that, right?
No, it was lower, but
Not
whatever. It don't
even.
matter.
Yeah.
But him, who else? There's so many people, and I hate because I feel like I'm gonna miss someone. Bobby Orlando, mom versus daddy type of
Fuck.
shit.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's a genius booking idea,
I
right?
hate that it hasn't happened yet because it's just like I've been here for a while, but like whatever, it's cool. It'll get there.
Hmm.
Who else? Who else?
You
Who
hear
else?
this, Rip? You hear this, Delmy?
Yeah, you hear that? Down me too. Down shit. I'll try to fight Down me. She's strong though. She's buff.
That would be a great match. I
Oh,
mean,
and
hey,
Becca. Sorry, and Becca. Yeah,
All
those are the
right.
ones I want. Yeah.
Becca's
All right.
dope. She's been on our show before too, and God, she is just setting the world on fire right now.
Yeah, man, it's cool seeing all that stuff, man. I remember when she was just the fucking what is it? The
The
Scrunchy Squad.
scrunch.
yeah,
Well, she was basic Becca. She was on Limitless the Road. I was like that was one of the few shows that was going like during the pandemic.
oh,
Like
that's
they were
right.
doing their little dojo shows and stuff like that. So I was like, there's nothing else to watch. I was watching that. I saw her gimmick. I thought it was hysterical, but obviously she is much more than that. Um, she's crushing it.
Yeah. Every time I come on Twitter, I feel like I see somebody promoting one of her matches somewhere.
Yeah, she's always
Everywhere.
on it, live on it. She's dope. She's good.
Good.
She's good people.
Yeah.
For sure. So do you have any aspirations to travel internationally? And if so, do you have some dream opponents over there?
Um, honestly, I am terrified of flying.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's why I haven't like been traveling back and forth from here to home or
Mhm.
back in LA. I'm terrified of flying, but um if the opportunity ever like is real and it happens, Japan,
yeah.
just to cross it off the list of like
Mhm.
I did that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'll be fucking terrified, man. So
fair
uh
enough.
yeah, but any opponent, no, it don't matter to me. I like wrestling new people, and it's fun to me. You know what I mean? But I love wrestling at a new place.
Okay.
So like, it don't matter to me. It could be anybody. It could be someone I wrestled 100 times, or it could be, someone I don't even know. But like, fuck it. As long as it's in Japan, that'd be tight.
So I
Laws.
want to ask you,
Yep.
you say you like to wrestle new people. So I always have this, how much prep goes into a match against a new opponent, right? Like, so you never wrestled this person before. You may have met them once or twice and you're in the locker room. How much prep goes into that? How much gets called in the ring? How much, like, it seems like it's so risky, obviously, to wrestle somebody new.
Yeah. Honestly, it's actually sometimes for me, it's a little bit easier to wrestle someone new just because it's greatest hits, right? Like I'm gonna do what I do what I know that's gonna get me over,
Mhm.
and I would
Mhm.
hope for you to do the same. And I'll be there. Obviously I'll watch I'm still one of those people that watch the matches that I'm going to, or whoever my opponent is, I'll watch their matches
Okay.
just so I could be like, oh, I can do that, or I could counter that, or I could be there, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But it's a lot easier for me because when I wrestled someone already, then I'm thinking, okay, how can I counter the counter that he could do this, or how can I get into a different way that we haven't done it before or people haven't seen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
Yeah. So like I
Keep it
wrestled,
fresh.
yeah, I wrestled Alec Price. Fuck, when was it? I can't remember. My first East Coast booking was against Alec Price. I was still living in Florida, and then we came over here for a show called PWE, and I wrestled
Mhm.
Alec, and it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I really
Mhm.
wanted to wrestle him again. Then fucking like a year later for the Blitzkrieg Pro title, I wrestled him at Blitzkrieg Pro. Not saying that one's higher than the other, but that one was a little bit more important to me because it's here I am against the Northeast Beast, this fucking top
Yeah.
guy out here, so I need to like
Fuck yeah.
keep up type of shit. So,
Mhm.
but it was like I watched our last match and I was just like, okay, don't repeat that, don't do that. How can we tweak this? How can we do that over here? You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Mhm. Okay.
So to me, it's a little bit easier to wrestle someone new than it is for someone that I wrestled so many times.
Yeah, no, that the way that you explain it makes total sense. It's something new, it's something fresh, and you know, you can almost keep it basic. Not
Yeah.
basic, but you keep it, like you said, greatest hits, and if you do wrestle them again, then you have that foundation to build on if you want to. So it
Yeah.
makes total sense to me.
For sure. So
Nailed it.
what are some of the goals that you have in wrestling over the next year?
Honestly, nothing, man. I just want to have fun.
That's the best
I
answer.
Yeah, I say this and I mean this. I'm not. Yeah, whatever. I say it and I mean it. Like I'm not trying to get signed because of the traveling aspect and because I'm a little older. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I'm cool. Like I don't need to go all over the world and do all this and be talked about all over. Like
Hmm.
as long as I can keep going at a rate that like people are enjoying watching me and not like, oh, it's because he's getting, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
as long as I'm still doing that and at the end of the match, at the end of the night, my opponent or the fans are going, "Yo, dog, that shit was cool. That was tight." Like that's all that I like want right now. Or, just like I had my chances and I had my time. I was talking to someone about this, actually TJ Crawford. I was actually talking to him about it where
Hmm.
I'm not in competition with anyone because I'm not trying to get signed. I'm not trying to be the next indie darling. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. So sitting back and watching them, him, Ichiban, fucking sorry, see, I can't even name all these people. Miracle Jace,
Brogan.
Brogan, seeing all them like elevate and be larger than life. They're like, I know that they are. That to me, that's dope, dude. It's
Yeah.
I
so
think
fucking
that's dope
cool.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing that shit. Like seeing grind, like what? It's been 2 years since grind's been around, I
Hmm.
think. And I
Hmm.
wasn't around in the beginning, so seeing grind elevate to what it is and what it's becoming is like that's fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing shit like that, like I don't need to be the top guy as long as I'm on the card and like it's still like a great showing and everyone's like, "Fuck, this was dope" or whatever. Then that's cool with me. Like I'm
Yeah.
not in competition. I'm doing my shit, coming back and watching the show like, fuck yeah, yeah, do it, dog, do it, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. I love that attitude because it's crazy because so many people do, and not anybody that's come on the show or anything, but you hear all the horror stories of the politics and the
Mhm.
the the backbiting and the just the nasty shit, and it's refreshing to get somebody that's just like, yo, I want to go out, I want to have a good time, I want to hang out with good people. And I've
Yeah.
heard from Eric, I'm from up north, by where Grind is. I moved to Charlotte a couple of years back, so I haven't been to Grind yet. I'm gonna make it a point because everything I've been told is like that's the vibe of those shows. It's just fun and fun people and just wanted to have just put on a good show, man.
That's it,
You know,
man. That's
and
it.
and I'm super excited to be able to get up there.
Yeah,
And you
man. We
better be
had.
on the card.
I hope so, bro. I hope so. Yeah, we had. It's like that. That's the shit that I like. And then out here, it's like that. Like, um, this is the first area, like the Northeast area, where like there's characters, there's larger than fucking life characters, there's wrestlers, there's all this big ass pot of people, of workers, of wrestlers, and there's a spot for everyone, and everyone is in those spots, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
Like, I remember the first time I saw Bobby Orlando, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is your mom? What is the goat? Like, like, like being naive, because I never seen him or met him. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? This was in Florida. We had like a little, a match or not a match, but like we were in a rumble and he actually I gave him a pop-up cutter. We still talk about it to this day. He's probably the highest person I ever threw in the air. I want to try to find that clip, but that shit was great. It was in for Fest. But we did
Okay.
that and I was just like, what the fuck is this? But then he goes out there and he does his thing and I'm like, bro, this motherfucker is dope. Like that's cool. So like seeing shit like that, man, that shit like that makes me happy, man. Like that's why I like. That's why I love seeing shit like that.
Dope.
I love it too, man. Sounds
Best
like you
answer.
really, you know, the spirit of independent wrestling is strong with you for sure.
Yeah, man. I've been in this for like I want to say like 12 years. Maybe 11 because of COVID because when in LA everything shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I lost a year. So I don't like to be one of those people that have been like, "Oh, I've been around for 20 years," but they left for 15, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, fuck all
definitely.
that. But it's just like I've done cool shit. I think I'm still continuing to do cool shit. Like I never really realized it when like I sit back like when New Japan had their camp in Carson in LA, I was on the show. Like so I was like the first, New Japan dojo show. I was on that shit.
Hmm.
PWG, I was in the last time they were in Reseda. Like I was like
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
show. And then I did PWG 16, which is like fucking crazy. Like, but I don't sometimes I forget about that stuff.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, man, I've done cool shit. Like I've flown places and done cool shit, been champion, whatever, and wrestled names and now I'm friends with those people. But like, cool, man. Like I hope that continues, but like, fuck that. Give it to them. Like, let them do it first. If they're not available or whatever, then sure, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But like, no, man, like I just want to sit back and watch these foods grow. And
I'll come to the show though.
no, yeah, hey, I'm gonna pay for the ticket. Let me just kick it.
So, what are some of your interests that you have outside of wrestling?
Shit, bro, nothing.
Same.
I'm doing
I get you.
shit.
I get you.
I don't be doing shit, man. Like I feel bad because it's like me and my lady were actually talking about this shit. Like, what do I do out here? You know what I mean? I like bowling. Bowling's cool.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a little bowling alley like down the street that we be going to sometimes. It's fun. I like to play video games like an old ass man, just playing video games. Fuck, that's it, man.
That's it. What are some of your favorite video games you're playing?
Right now, I just got Call of Duty Cold War.
Okay.
Cause yeah, I didn't know, man. This online shit is fucking. I hate it, bro. It
We're
took me
getting
like,
old, bro. I can tell. You got that
bro,
old soul in you. It's
Yeah.
whack,
bro,
right?
it took me 5 fucking days to download the stupid ass campaign, and I finally got it. Didn't realize that I have to like keep downloading the missions or whatever the fuck. So like, I hate it. I get so upset about it, but it's all cool because I'll like let it download. I'll just go get violently high and then just chill. And then when it's ready to go, I'm in it. I'm like, I don't even know if I should have said
Yeah.
that. Nah, whatever.
Nah, man, you can say
Yeah,
it. I
it
talk
don't
my
matter.
shit.
I
I talk my shit.
actually, it was funny. Like right when you messaged me, like, "Hey, are you ready?" I was like, "Fuck!" I was in like a submission. I was like just trying to get like these documents and shit like that, and I was like, "Damn."
Good, man. We can
It's all
talk about
good, man.
anything.
Yeah.
We're not the FBI.
Good.
Mhm.
That and then I'm on MLB The Show. What is it?
Oh fuck yeah.
23. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't played the new one at all, but every time I get it, I play Road to the Show.
I was gonna say
Shit.
if you have the last one, the 22 or whatever, my suggestion is like don't get the new one. It's the same shit.
Yo, it's always the same shit.
Yeah, it's like Madden.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of low key stopped playing
Fuck.
Madden.
Same, bro.
Yeah, man.
Same.
I hate it because I was so into it. I was super into it. And then when they got this new, like, kind of like the road to the show, which was great, but it's like, oh, it's the same shit over and over. There's no like story, there's no goals, there's no nothing.
Dude.
So,
Video games today are so riddled with microtransactions too that just like that really turns me off with today's gaming. Like I can't fucking stand it anymore, man.
I agree. That's why
Um
the MLB, sorry, not ML, NBA, that's the 2Ks.
Yeah.
Man,
Those-
like, you need like fucking millions of dollars just to upgrade your guy to a fucking 50 to a 65. It's like, fine,
Yeah.
like I'm cool.
Nah.
yeah.
That's why I play. That's why I play fucking role playing games and shit. Like
yeah.
I still play Skyrim.
Like I'm, oh damn, that's tight.
Like I still fuck with Skyrim.
Hell
So
yeah.
like I don't
But
know
shit,
until
man, if it works, don't let it go. That's tight.
until Starfield comes out. I'm probably not playing much. So
I feel that. I feel that.
so much shit going on, man. I wish I had 5 minutes to play video games, let alone an hour.
Yeah,
You know how it is.
Yeah. So Andy, since you're close with someone who is an authority on the subject, thought I'd also ask you top 3 favorite cereals of all time.
Damn. Fruity Pebbles. Captain Crunch. Honestly, any type
I like
of
that pick.
any type of Captain Crunch. And there's a part of me that wants to say cinnamon toast.
Cinnamon. No, that's very common.
Yeah, I might just go with that one. Yeah, those.
Those are fair.
Yeah.
Those are fair.
You're probably gonna
Not
get
what I
mad
would
at
have
me
picked,
for
but
this.
that's fair.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you ever
Those are
fucked
classics.
you ever fuck with Honey O's? Ever have those before?
I feel like I had, man, with the cereal queen, she just makes me try
Yeah.
anything, so I probably had it.
Yeah.
No, you know what's funny is I don't really fuck with cereal like that, but whatever in the house, and it's always some like random exotic shit that's in here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's cool.
But like cereal's the best high food, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, like
No, 100%.
dry cereal in
Yeah,
milk,
100%.
whatever. Like that's a go-to. Like
3 to
No, I
4
fuck with
bowls. Come on.
give me 2 bowls of Reese's Puffs at the end of a session. I am fine.
That's the thing too is babe, I'm lactose, so she
Oh.
has almond
Oh,
milk,
okay.
which is great. So I could eat that shit and not like shit my pants. So
That's funny. I am too. I just don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
I had a
don't
milkshake yesterday. Fucked me up. I think I'm still feeling it today, bro.
Oh
Oh
no.
man. Get
Uh,
well soon. Hope you're ready for Friday night. Pro Wrestling Grind, hallowed be thy name.
Great
Andy
segue.
Brown, you're going to be facing a man who doesn't think he's famous. However, he is, a Northeast wrestling legend. Let's face it. Dan Barry. What should we expect from this match?
A lot of slow shit. Nah, man. Nah, man. Dan's someone that I've been wanting to wrestle for a very long time. We were talking about it before we started recording at Bar Wrestling. I would see
Mhm.
him there often,
Team
and
Tremendous.
yeah, and we would chat it up and stuff like that. So he was always been cool as fuck, and we talked about it, but we never think it would happen. And the fact that it is happening at Grind is like, to me, it's a very special fucking match for me. So I'm going to do the best I can to try to beat this motherfucker, but in a respectful way.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on WrestleMania, so
She was dope, right?
that was crazy
Yes.
to me.
When he
Like,
was the security guard, yeah.
like I collectively wrestling Twitter lost its fucking mind.
It was
Yes.
Like,
dope, man.
yeah,
That
it
was
was
the one
great.
time that everyone was on the same page of like, yes, like good job.
This is our guy right here.
I don't think I know anybody that's been like, damn, Barry sucks. Nah, man, that dude's dope.
He
So
makes
yeah,
great memes too. He's
He's a
funny in
man.
his own right.
He's a
Yeah.
comedian. He's a stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
I forget what the
Don't worry
meme is. It was something about Applebee's, but like it was one of my favorites for a long time.
this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I worked at Applebee's, so I have PTSD. I'm sorry.
No way.
Yeah, so Andy, it's a pleasure to be sponsoring
sure.
this match. We can't wait for it. I'll be there live. We'll all be cheering you on. Tell everyone that's listening where to find you online.
Where do you find me online? Up Andy Brown on all socials. I'm not on Thread though, so I don't
Yeah.
even know how
Okay.
that shit works.
Don't bother.
Twitter, Instagram, up Andy Brown. Yeah, I don't know when this is coming up, but I have a show this Thursday for Wrestling Open. Damn, can I say who I'm wrestling? I don't know. And then Friday Grind against Dan Barry. Saturday at Limitless. I don't know what I'm doing yet, which is funny. And Sunday BST, so that'll be fun.
I saw the Limitless poster and I saw Lucky Ali, and I was so hoping that you were going to be facing Lucky Ali, but it looks like Beef has got him. Which, by the way, I really loved you and Beef wrestling. Wait, you and Beef wrestled at Limitless before, right?
Yeah. He's good people too, man. That shit was a fun one. I remember Beef way back in the day.
I'd love to have him on the show sometime, bro.
Good,
Like,
bro.
he is somebody like who he is and what he's about. He's normally someone that like I wouldn't like, but like he's one of my favorite baby faces going today. There's something about him. You just love the guy.
He seems like he's not real, if that makes any fucking sense. Like
like a cartoon character.
Yeah, bro. You be hearing him say shit, I'm just like, what, nigga? Like, all right, fuck it. Like, yeah, but he's cool people, man. I like him a lot.
Awesome. Well, we like you a lot, Andy Brown, Thick Daddy. Thanks for being on today, and good luck to you on Friday. And
thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks again.
Hopefully, I wasn't too boring for.
Nah, man, it was a pleasure. It was, to get a good laugh in with good people is never going to be boring. We appreciate having you on the show, and as I said earlier, I can't wait to get up there to grind. If you ever do make your way down here to Charlotte to wrestle, I'm sure I'll find out. So, there's some spots here. I know PWX runs here and whatnot. So
and Deadlock Pro.
Deadlock Pro runs down here too, so you never know. But big fans here, and thanks again for coming on the show.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for having me. Very appreciate it.
And as always,
stay fresh, cheese bags,
and keep watching wrestling.